I ain't doing nothing for the love no more. Give me the hate. I ain't doing nothing for the love no more.
What's going on, guys? I am EJ Nieves, the owner and operator of Nest Galleries. Welcome to my space. So you guys are pretty much in it. There's two different galleries, so we're gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about the first one and then walk to the back and check out the second.
By the system, devil with a badge and a gun. 400 years we've been on the run, so I guess we owe something.
On this particular wall here, this was the wall that I chose for myself. We are currently representing 4 artists, including myself. So this one's mine, this mural. I have a mantra, and I talk a lot about building bridges and not kingdoms. No eye has seen is based off of 1 Corinthians 2:9 in the Bible. It talks about no eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has imagined what God has in store for those that love Him. So the emblem for, or the logo, if you will, for Nest is always an eye with like a slash through it. Right now it's in the middle of kind of like a reconstruction of the logo. So what you see here is kind of a little bit part of the reconstruction because the old logo doesn't have this almost like X type.
Give me the hate, cause I can take it. Nothing for the love no more.
Let's go ahead and check out the back gallery.
More than it was love. We only love him after the great dub. R.I.P. But a lot of y'all ain't even heard of
Right behind me is Andres Garcia, and he actually happens to be here tonight. So guys, this is Andres Garcia.
Hey everybody.
Go ahead and share a couple words about your pieces.
Well, all I can say is I'm super blessed. I'm here at Nest Galleries. So I have a couple of my favorite black and white pieces here. So I have my Frida here, I got Caesar over there as well. I got my Medusa. A lot of these are inspired by, I guess you can say, the old school Renaissance artists like Michelangelo. And just a big fan, and I appreciate his artwork, and I think that he laid down a lot of groundwork for future artists. So if you want to come by and check out our artwork and Og's and Larry's and EJ's, just come by Nest Gallery in Ocala, Florida.
EJ.
What's up, man?
Appreciate you, bro. I didn't fist bump, that's why I went ahead and redid the whole thing.
Boom.
Dude, there's few people that when I conceptualized this idea that were destined to be on the sit down. I feel like they were already on their way. Yeah. I just wanted to be in a space to where I could best represent their brand and who they are.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you for agreeing to do it, because when you agreed to do it, we was already in a different direction.
Yeah.
You know, so by the time, we get here, I could better represent you. And I'm glad I could do that, because I've been a fan of you for a minute, bro.
No, I appreciate that, man.
We've had conversations on the phone.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
I remember, oh my goodness, man. We're talking years ago.
Yeah.
We're talking like 5 years?
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting about our brotherhood? It's not like we talk every day.
Nope.
We don't talk every month.
Nope.
But it's like when we talk, we talk.
Yeah.
And I think it's a cool thing. I have a couple brothers in my life like that. And I thank God for brotherhood, because I have a sister. Mm-hmm. But growing up, I always was like, man, like it'd be cool to have a brother.
Yeah.
And so I grew up, with a sister. I love her a lot. But I remember the older I got and just kind of being around some of, my friends that have brothers,
right.
There was this bond that I always, wanted and desired. And it wasn't really until like I'd say late 20s, because I'm 36 now. So from my late 20s on, God started planting brothers into my life. And like I said before, you're one of those that we don't talk all the time, man, but when we do, it's good. It's real
dope.
good. It's dope.
Yeah. I feel like there's this, we just have like this understanding.
Yeah.
From a distance. But that's dope and that's needed, because, you know that you have someone that, you know what I'm saying, if there's something that goes on, or if you need something, or if there's a space that they can bring. Like when I thought of this, man, I definitely was like, yo, I want EJ on it, because you're moving. You're doing something.
Yeah.
I have a couple people, they reach out to me, and there's no shade.
Yeah.
But they want to be on the show, and I'm just like, what's up? Like, and that's no shade to them, but it's just like, we gotta have something. Like, just give me something.
Yeah.
I don't mind having you on, but like, just give me something.
For sure.
I'm not gonna bring nobody on just to sit, and just look at, for however long the conversation goes for.
No, and I completely understand that too, because now as a gallery, a gallery owner, operator, and a curator, if you will.
Right.
I have those conversations as well. I think anybody with a platform
Yeah,
deals with
yeah.
that. Anybody with a platform
Yeah.
deals with that. It could be anything, man. It could be anything. Just any kind of platform, record label, gallery, talk show, podcast, TV show. And once again, it's just kind of having the conversation about,
Right.
if you want to be on, why? And I think for me, a lot of the things that I do, and I'll say this respectfully speaking and compassionately speaking, I've always said your vibe attracts your tribe. So for me, will I do call outs, right? Like, a call to artists? Yeah. But there is something very beautiful too that your platform kind of attracts. It just kind of naturally attracts or connects the dots for you. And what's happening with the gallery, so to speak, and what I believe is happening with your show, is that it attracts the people that needs to be that it attracts. You know what I'm saying? And then you have a dope show, or in my case, I have a dope gallery opening or a dope show in the gallery. So I think like I said, vibe attracts tribe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's dope. Did you paint that on something?
No, but I have. It's funny. I've written it on Facebook, and a lot of times those kind of phrases that I say, they'll end up in a painting at some point.
Yeah.
Even the piece, the mural, the little mini mural that I did behind me, a lot of times I'll write those kind of sayings or just something that'll be really sporadic. It'll pop up in my work all the time.
Yeah.
And it's interesting too, because I had a college, and I, whether you want to call it shade or not, I think it just kind of traumatized me, man. Like in college, I had this professor, man, that she really was not about writing on paintings. She was just real adamant about painting should be visual in the sense that is non-representational or representational. You should never write on a piece. Like you should never journal or write or have a letter or a word or a number. It was just this clashing of thought between me and her. And I don't know. It's interesting when I start talking about my work and stuff. She'll pop up. I won't say her name because I ain't trying to throw her under the bus. But if you do a little research on me and find out what years I was at UCF, you might find out who this person is. You might find her. But I just, man, shout out to her, man. It's funny. I ran into her at Publix. Yeah. Like a couple years ago. I mean, I'm 36, so I figured. I mean, it's been 10 years since I've been in her class, but that. I fought against it though, and I ended up leaving her class with a C. And I fought against it. I mean, I was like, "This is how I represent myself." Right. If you don't like journalistic expression, on a piece, hey man, that's me. But and it's interesting too because I ended up being a teacher myself. I mean, it was middle school. She was a college professor. Right. But there was something very beautiful that I got a chance to experience with watching a student just kind of do what they want to do and trying to understand their heart and why they're doing it. And so I would put myself in, I would always look at myself through my children and my students in class and remember the EJ that was 22 years old coming into his craft, coming into how I created and kind of being shot down. And I kind of deal with some trauma from that. But no, so I know I kind of went on a tangent, but I guess it's just because I just love talking about art, man, and creativity.
That's what's up. It's a sit down, man.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. So you were talking to. Oh, by the way, I love that One Piece. One Piece is my anime, bro. Yeah. I'm sitting here, bro, and I know Luffy's staring at. I have Luffy on my passport. Okay. My passport cover is
really.
Luffy. Yeah. Oksana actually went out because I wanted the straw hat. Yeah. She went out and bought some straw hats. Really? And red ribbons so we can make it. Bro, cool. I am a One Piece fan, bro.
Well, shout out to Larry himself, man. Larry, he talked about your piece, man. Yeah. It's off camera. It's off camera at the moment, but beautiful One Piece. One piece of artwork. Yeah. That's actually behind Oksana right now while she's filming, and it's very beautiful.
I'm gonna show it. I took some B-roll of it. Yeah. So what does he do? He those are pictures those are actual real pictures.
Yeah. So those are okay. So like when you go to Target, you go to Ross, you go to, and they have that section of just like $29.99, a picture of the Tuscan sun or a rainforest or something. Like, he'll take that picture and he'll implement his own creativity on top of it, and he'll just paint right on top of it. And so it's a really cool vibe. They call it like repurposed art. So he'll go anywhere from the Salvation Army, thrift shops, garage sales, and he'll pick up pieces that are already like done in the sense of a lot of his work is more so like photography. So he doesn't really do a lot of work on, pieces of art per se that are already done.
Yeah.
But he'll take like a photograph.
Got you.
And then do something on top of it.
So like you're displaying other people's art.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As well as yours. So just talk a little bit about that and what it means to you to be an opportunity. Because I feel like that's what I do on my show, bro. We're kindred in a lot of places.
Yeah, we are.
Like even with my show, like I put it in a song. We live in Orlando. I live in Orlando. Opportunity is scarce, so I decided to be one. Like I want to be an opportunity to people. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's not just about me. My name's on the show, because I'm gonna get mine.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But I want to put people on. So like,
Yeah.
just talk a little bit about that and what it means to you to be an avenue for other artists.
Well, in order for me to kind of really tell the story, I got to take it back. I've been in Ocala, Florida, for about a solid year now. And when I first came to Ocala, and I'll go back a little bit because I am from Orlando. I say Orlando, I put 17 years there. I'm from a little town called Shalimar, Florida, but I put almost 20 years in Orlando. So Orlando is kind of, it's a piece of home, And so coming from Orlando in a place where opportunity is scarce, and I know that a lot of people might think, hey, it's Orlando. As an artist, there's Mickey Mouse, there's Disney, and there's Universal, but it's just a place where there's just so many people, there's so many creative people, there's so many artists that opportunities are scarce. Because when you have that many amazing people in an area, it's hard to kind of for everybody to find their lane. So
Right.
I left Orlando and then I came to Ocala. Ocala is a lot smaller, way smaller. And the one thing that I definitely realized being in Ocala was the lack of opportunity to be able to showcase art in a brick and mortar situation. I went into a gallery, and out of respect, man, I'll keep the names. I won't say the names of these places, right? Because it is a small town, and I want to show that respect by not necessarily saying the name, but I do want to share some of my frustrations, man, because this is the sit down, and I feel like it is time within myself and in my career, and then also as a gallery owner, the only way that I can tell the story and literally sit down with you and tell the story is to give the kind of like the beginning stages of it. So when I came, I remember they were telling me like there was like a year waiting list in one of the more prominent galleries here in town. And I said to myself, the opportunity was there, but I was gonna have to wait about a year and a half. And that's really where my frustration started, because I thought to myself, and as I continued going forward, I realized that some of the galleries were only made for specific artists. Some galleries were just for like, EJ Nieves' gallery. I only show my art, I show it, I sell it. I don't necessarily have wall space for other artists. And I respect that too. Like we said, like everybody got to get theirs in their own way. But I did realize in Ocala there was definitely a need and an urgency, because I also realized that there was a scarcity in gallery space and brick and mortar space, like a wall to actually have art represented, and there was a lot of artists here, and that's really where the idea sparked to have a gallery. And a friend of mine by the name of Seth Benzel, he is the gallery owner of 8th Avenue Gallery, which is actually about 4 doors down. And shout out to him, he's in Dubai right now.
Wow.
And but we had a really beautiful conversation in regards to ownership and talking about the fact that to really be able to kind of be the master of your own ship, if you will, with your ideas, with your vision, you got to own your own.
That's true.
You got to own your own. And so when I opened, it took some time. It was an amazing blessing to be able to acquire this. At this point now there's a waiting list, God told me to execute and go for it at the right time. If I would have waited just a month after I did, there was a waiting list.
Wow.
And so I thank God for that. And so the gallery is all about representation. It's all about building platforms.
Yeah.
Platforms and bridges. That's what I'm all about.
Yeah.
And so currently I represent 3 artists in here: Andres Garcia, Og Element, and Larry himself. Mm-hmm. And it's just really cool. You know, we had the grand opening last Saturday, about a week, last weekend.
Yeah.
And it was just cool to have all the artists in the building, to have a lot of people. I mean, almost like 200 people came.
Wow.
And to see the people interact with the artist himself.
Yeah.
And to just kind of be able to sit back and have that moment of, you know, God, this is you. Yeah. God, you helped me acquire this space. You gave me the fortitude and the hands and the mind and the heart to say, let's do this. God surrounded me with people that sponsored things, from the rebuilding or the remodeling of the ceiling and the track lighting. Shout out to Exotic Mobile Marketing. I gotta put them out there. Exotic Mobile Marketing. They came in. They are our first corporate sponsor.
Nice.
I mean, they came in and remodeled the ceiling and put the track lighting in, and did a lot of work to the bathroom. I mean, it needed a lot of work.
Yeah.
But they came in and helped a lot. Daniel Gray and his team, they came in, and so it's been a really cool time to see platforms getting built. But it's not just me.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing that I'm learning from all this. So yeah, no, it's been cool. And just like you talked about with the opportunities going forward, I just want to give opportunity. I want to solve problems,
right,
and build opportunity. That's where I'm at. So.
Those relationships go a long way.
Yeah.
Even outside of money, I know a lot of people may be, and even myself, I find myself sometimes getting hungry for money. Mm-hmm. But you kind of have to take a back seat and realize that people are more valuable than money. Not in a greed factor, oh, what can you do for me? But when you connect with a person, you get everyone connected to them.
Yes.
You know, that's more precious than getting that one-time check.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what can come after that. And then, like, it gives you a sense of pride within yourself that you've arrived at a place where you can put somebody else on.
Yes.
Like, that's real winning to me, man. And I see that's what you're trying to build. Like, that's what you're trying to, you know, well, not even what you're trying to do. That's what you've done. That's what you are doing. Yeah. And I think that's another reason why we connected. Not because, I mean, we're around the same age, so we kind of, there's an unwritten or spoken rule, because it's just like, yo, we just get it. Yeah. You know? And I think that's dope.
Yeah, I you know, it's one of those things where it's like, as I get older, right, and we've talked, man, you know, the times that we do talk, we do share a lot of different, we share a lot of similarities in the fact of, like, our heart, what we want to do for the community in our lanes. And as I get older, it's one thing, and it's weird, like, I'm weirdly getting emotional right now, right? Because I've been thinking about this, and it's cool that you even brought this up, because that which you just spoke of in regards to money and that battle sometimes, that's actually what I've been dealing with lately, man. You know, because now it's like, okay, the doors are open, DMs are starting to come in, people are excited, people want their time, you know, to shine, or people want their opportunity, right? And I receive that. Like, I receive that compassionately, you know, I receive that in a loving way, because it's like, you know, I remember being in a place where it's like, you don't really, you know, how do you acquire this, or how do you acquire space, or how do you get a podcast going, how do you buy equipment, you know, like, you gotta have so many questions. And it's really cool to be, and I say finally, because I mean, a lot of what the fruit, the harvest that I'm picking up now, right? Man, this is crazy. The harvest that I'm reaping right now, like, this is like 10 years in the making.
Years.
This is 10 years in the making. This isn't overnight. This is not a get rich quick. This is not I figured out a back door. This is, I mean, you're talking bro. I mean, and we were talking a little bit before, you know,
Yeah,
the show,
yeah.
but I'll bring it back up. I mean, I lost everything, bro. I lost my car. I lost my storage unit that had all my furniture, art supplies, paintings in there that were worth hundreds.
Dang.
You know, in the midst of about 10 years, I really started to understand what it meant to, like, the tenacity. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, I really started to understand, like, if you want it,
Yeah.
like, how bad do you want it? There were, I mean, at the craziest and lowest, I guess lowest in the sense of, like, you know, things that I didn't have, pursuing my dream.
Yeah.
I literally was homeless in my car before my car got repoed. I had a friend that let me borrow their warehouse to paint in, and literally homeless in my car inside that warehouse.
Wow.
And I said to myself, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know where I go from here. I don't. And it was just everything that I had ever heard before, man. I've gone to church. I mean, once again, I'm 36 years old. I was saved in 97.
Wow.
So, like, everything I've ever heard about, you know, God being good, God being sovereign, God being a provider, a healer, Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Nisi. You know, like, I've heard God, and so, I mean, I've heard of the love of God, and as a believer, you know, like, but for years and years, bro, years going through the motions, bro. Oh yeah, God is good, bro. But, like, I'm sitting here, you know, living with my mom, or yeah, God is good, bro. And I got student, you know, like, I got a student loan that, you know, I'm good, you know, not even knowing any better, but I got a student loan for like $10,000 because I just wanted money in the bank. I'm good to go. But, like, it's those moments where it's like, okay, I have nothing.
Right.
Like, I have nothing.
Yep.
I only got a couple options. Like, I can move, I can completely let go of everything that I was building, move back in with my mom, 7 hours away. At this point, I had already been trying to build a following, you know, paint and kind of create in the space that I was in, in the warehouse that I was in. But at the time, I didn't have any money, but I was still going for it, to the point where it was literally nothing. Like, I literally couldn't afford the apartment that I was in, so I had to go, and I was sleeping out of my car. But then once again, holding on to what it was, and then God bringing in people at just the right time. Whether it was blessing me with food, whether it was, you know what, man, you can stay on my couch for a little bit, you know, like, and just holding on to it. And it's just really this story, man, like, the story of this gallery. And my homeboy Larry, you know, with the one piece that you like, you know, he encouraged me. He was like, bro, what you should do, because, you know, he had a really good idea, which I still want to do. But his idea was, man, take your journey, because all the while, which is interesting, I lost everything except my phone. And for me, my phone has always been this piece of equipment, this tool in my life that I don't just use my phone as a thing. I don't sit there and play app games all day long, or I don't sit there and watch Netflix on it all day long. My phone has always been this tool, bro, like, to document my life.
It's a piece of equipment.
It's a piece of equipment. And so when I lost my car, when I lost my apartment, when I lost my storage unit, I lost it all, but I still maintain my phone. And what's interesting and beautiful about that is my phone at this point has, I think, like 20 or 30,000 pictures.
Jeez.
Yeah. And I document everything. And, like, so when I first got to Ocala, I was painting out of a storage unit, bro. Like, straight up storage unit, an outside unit, because that's all I could afford. I mean, roaches. It was hot. You know, it was crazy, bro. Like, the conditions that I was creating in. And even, it's interesting to think, because even, like, when you think about my TikTok, when you look at the beginning, when you go all the way to the beginning, some of the very first videos on my TikTok, those TikToks were made in a roach infested hot box. You know, storage unit. And God just kept telling me, man, I need you to make these videos like you're not here.
Yeah.
I need you to make these videos like you in a beautiful gallery. I need you to make these videos like you're not in the element in which you're in.
Right.
And it's just like, so, I mean, I say all that to say this, man, like this gallery has a lot of stories to tell. And his idea was, because I took pictures when I was at the studio. I took pictures when my car got repoed. I took pictures of all this stuff.
Wow.
And Larry was like, bro, you just need to do a show where you just tell your story.
Yeah.
Like blow up these pictures and
Yeah.
put them on the wall.
Yeah.
Just tell your story.
Yeah.
And I'm about to cry because it's like, it really is a redemption story, bro. Like it's literally like the prodigal son. Like there's so many stories in the Bible that I can reference that I literally lived real life. You know?
You said a lot, bro, but you said something that was really clutch. You talked about, you know, spending all this time in church and you hearing all of these things. They sound good.
Yeah.
And everybody wants God to do it for them. But what I don't think a lot of people, primarily real believe or quote unquote real believers, don't take into consideration is you have to put that work in.
Oh yeah.
You have to put so much physical hands, feet, mental, you know, conversation, whatever it is you're doing, you're going to have to put in more work than you pray about.
Yes.
Like I think a lot of people miss it. It goes back to what is painted on your wall in your bathroom.
Yeah.
What's that quote in your bathroom?
Man, I might misquote it, but it has to do with like a lot of people what are hungry, right? But they're not willing to hunt.
Not willing to hunt. And they're not willing to do that.
Yeah.
But they want so much. And I think that's how a lot of envy and jealousy gets stirred up in people when they see other people in their lane or not in their lane, or that they know doing something. But it's just like, yo, I went out and hunted.
Yeah.
You went out and you hunted. I'm not saying me, but I'm just saying like people, like these people went out and hunted. And I told my wife I was listening to a lot of people, just listening to their stories. You know, a lot of celebrity figures, a lot of public figures, listening to their stories. I would listen to them talk on talk shows and on TV shows and on podcasts. And I'm just like taking all this in. I consume content a little differently. Like, yeah, I consume it for entertainment, but majority of the time, my wife would tell you, I sit on YouTube or I sit on in front of this screen and I'm just taking in. Yeah. I'm consuming the content, but I'm just taking it in. And the underlining thread between everyone was, bro, I sacrificed. Yeah. I gave up. I put this time in. I put this work in. Like they gave so much of themselves before they saw even just a hint of success. So that's crazy. And you literally live that. So all of that happens in your life. You open your gallery. You sell your first piece of art. Yeah. What is that feeling? What are you thinking about? What's that emotion like?
You know, I think for me it's full circle, and it'll really, I won't say it's full circle yet, because for me it'll be full circle. Well, no, I can't say that because Andres, he sold prints that night. So it did go full circle, because a space in which God allowed me to create a platform, somebody stood on that platform and was blessed by that platform. And now that I think about it, Andres and Og Element, they sold pieces. Right. And I sold a piece as well. And to me, that is full circle. That's the beginning. That is the beginning of everything. Right. Because it's one thing to have a space. You can have a space for yourself. You can have a space where you represent people, but then you can also have and not sell, and they're just kind of hanging on the wall. Or you can have a space represent people and sell, and they're blessed financially, because it's not all about money, which is it's an interesting thing. But we know that money makes the world go round, right? And one of my biggest dreams is to be able to create spaces to where streams of income, because for me it's all about streams of income, like. Right. So to be able to have a platform where people are able to acquire a stream of income, that's major. Like that's really big. Yeah. So selling a piece was beautiful. Watching Andres and Og sell, That night was amazing.
Yeah.
So it was really a cool feeling, man.
Before the train, I was asking you about passion.
Yeah.
And where does that come from?
Okay, cool. Yeah, I literally was losing my train of thought while the train was going because I was kind of mumbling. But, for the longest time, man, I would get a textbook answer, oh God, God. And I would say, oh God,
Right.
like sarcastically, like, of course, I love Jesus, man. I'm a believer. But a lot of times I feel like it's one of those things where people kind of default to that.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right,
Yeah.
all right, like, Jesus is like foundational. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man, like Jesus is core. Jesus is the nucleus. Jesus is foundational. So like, okay, cool. We got that taken care of.
Right.
So Jesus is your core. So where's the passion come from? Man, it's just so interesting, man. Like I have to go all the way back to being a kid. There was just something, and it's interesting as I'm talking to you, like my TED Talk speech is kind of, my TED Talk is kind of naturally coming out because I talked a little bit about this, but there's something about art, bro. And as a kid, I didn't understand it. Mm-hmm. I used to, when I was a kid in the 90s, arcades were everything, bro. Yeah. We're about the same age, so y'all know what's up.
Phone machine? Yeah,
man, and I remember arcades, bro. And whether it was like Shinobi, Final Fight, Mortal Kombat 1, like 1. I'm talking like the first one. We're not talking no Xbox or PS5. Right. We talking like Mortal Kombat 1.
Right.
You be waiting in line. You put your quarter on the seal. Yeah. I got next, and you would just sit there and wait until Yeah. And I remember I love video games. I love going to the arcade. I didn't have, growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. So my mom would give me maybe like $5.
Yeah.
And so I would play my video games and stuff. But I always remembered watching like the big kids play, the fighting games and just being so enthralled by it. And I'll never forget, there was a kid by the name of Sam in 3rd grade. So when I was, in elementary school watching big kids play video games, I would go to school and I would see some of these kids drawing the same characters that were on these video games, and it was just this connection. Like it was like I love watching people play video games, but then now this kid's like drawing it,
right?
And it was like this immediate like this you could take it home with you, like you could take it with you type of thing,
right?
And that's where it really started. Fast forward, so I mean I love that. I did that a lot. And then you fast forward into high school where I was the cartoonist for the school newspaper. Wow. That's when I started learning a little bit about art being a voice. Like it really was a voice, you know what I'm saying? Or something to accentuate written word.
Right.
And so that's, you kind of add a little bit more to it. And it wasn't until college I had my first show in the drawing studio, which up to this point, man, I mean, sorry, Dr. Rivers, if you ever see this, I actually had an art show in my drawing class, no permission. I just did it.
Wow.
Yeah, like I don't even know at this. I mean, I probably wasn't even allowed to do that. We had about 50, 60 people in there.
Wow.
I set up a whole show and people came. My girlfriend at the time like cooked hors d'oeuvres, and it was a cool vibe.
Wow.
And I actually sold my first piece then, a piece by the name of Reach. And
116.
What's up?
116?
No, not Reach 116, but Reach as like reaching like a hand.
Oh, okay, got you.
And it's interesting too, though. The guy that actually bought my piece, he's actually a really big artist now and does these pieces made out of Skittles.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really crazy. But anywho, that's really like all of that. Like all of that creates this stew, if you will, of just. I just love art, man. It's just how it connects people.
Yeah.
I believe it, and that's going like. I never could put my finger on it. I never could really understand it, and I think now. These past couple of years, when I tried to create initiatives and art organizations and art clubs and bringing people together. I've been trying to do that for years, with no success. But I get to Ocala, Florida, and really it just all comes full circle, man. Yeah. Between the artists that I've met, like the artists that I represent right now, given the opportunity to do a gallery and create this platform, I've always tried to do this, man. Yeah. I've always tried. For the past 5 to 10 years, I've been trying to do this. And it just so happened that Ocala was the city that the ground was ready. Like the ground was tilled and ready to plant seeds. And everywhere else that I went, it just always felt forced. Yeah. It just always felt forced, man. Yeah. And so, yeah, man, it's been good. So the passion comes from that. The passion comes from years and years and years of being around artists and understanding how art impacts the world and how it impacts somebody's heart. Yeah. And changes them for the better. And that's really where it comes from. You know?
That's dope. I appreciate that answer because people can get cliche and just talk about God. I just feel like when if someone gives you an answer like that, now this isn't, standard to everyone. This is just my personal opinion, but so y'all don't kill me on this, but it doesn't matter. It's my opinion. Like, I feel like to say God, you kind of got to figure you out a little bit more. If everything, not that God isn't the foundation like you said, but if everything just does that, who are you as an individual? And God didn't create us to be robots. Like, you have a personality. Figure that out.
That's deep.
Like for me, you have to be passionate. Yeah. You have to be passionate. Because what happens when you get to a quiet space and God isn't just pouring out revelation on you in this season?
Exactly.
If it's not falling like rain over your life, you know what I'm saying? Like, who are you, now? Where does that fall now? Because as parents, like, and God's our Father, we talked a little bit about this off air. God's our Father. Yeah. With my children, when I'm teaching them and they're growing up, I'm always there. Teaching my son how to walk, I'm always around him. Yeah. But once he starts walking, like, I back off. Yeah. I let you go figure it out. And as a parent, what happens when God lets you go to figure it out? You're not going to keep pursuing that dream? Yeah. What happens if you find yourself homeless? You done doing art? Like, I found myself that way. I was on my mom's couch. I came home from Afghanistan, man, making good money. I came home and lost everything. Wow. I'm having a son. I have no car. I have nowhere to live. I'm on my mom's couch. Yeah. No job. I lost all my money having a baby. I was engaged at the time, and that's falling apart. Like, so what now? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You kind of got to get up. So thank God that you're here. Thank God that we're here. Yeah. We doing our thing. So yeah, bro. So you brought up the TED Talk. What was that like?
Bro.
I like TED Talks.
Yeah. Me too.
That's man. Like rock star to me.
No, I appreciate that, man. To date, TED Talk was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Really?
Yeah. Just got goosebumps.
Yeah.
TED Talk is it is a global platform.
Yeah.
TED Talk is, in part of my ignorance, I don't know of another brand of platform, if you will, like people from all over the world, from any kind of profession, from wrestlers to doctors to artists to rappers to any mothers, stay-at-home moms. There is a TED Talk for so many, if not every kind of topic at this point. And it's such an acclaimed and respected, globally recognized platform. And I remember applying for it. I just applied for it, didn't think I was going to make it. Even the application process, because anybody can apply. anybody can apply to a TED Talk, and then if your city, Ocala, has TED Talk Ocala, and so if your city has one, you're able to apply for that, or you're able to apply for the big TED Talk. Not the big TED Talk, but I mean they're all TED Talks. But like in the bigger cities, I guess you would say. And so I remember applying for it, and I was like, all right, cool. It just kind of, I applied. The application process was kind of grueling. Yeah. They ask you a lot of questions. What's your mission? Like, what's your philosophy in life? What's your TED Talk about? Break down your TED Talk. Give a synopsis about it. All the way to a actual, just talk about your topic for about 2 to 3 minutes. We want to see how you talk. So you submit a video. It was intense. And I don't know.
People out. I like it.
Yeah. And so 2 months later, maybe, I got an email. Congratulations.
Wow.
And just to be real, like, just to kind of put this out there, just because this is another testimony in itself. The same day, because mind you, this was kind of in a season where it was like up and down. And this was actually during COVID. Yeah, this was during COVID. I think. Yeah. So anyway, when I got the okay, and the same day that I got the congratulations email was the same day that I got a rejection letter from a big job that I had wanted to do. I was trying to work for the city, and I remember I applied for it, and man, I'm just gonna say it. A lot of times I'll be holding back, but it's like, I believe I didn't even get a chance to interview, like, because they did kind of like a weeding out process, and because I didn't know how to use Excel. It was crazy. So the position had everything to do with like arts and whatnot, right? But then there was a section where it was like, okay, I guess because it's like a government job, you got to know how to use Excel. I don't know how to use Excel.
Yeah.
So I mean, I kind of wing it, but in my mind, I'm like, man, there's no way, man. I'm so qualified.
Right.
Like when I looked at the description, it was everything that I was already doing for the city, already.
Wow.
In Ocala.
Yeah.
Anywho.
And Excel is not hard to learn.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Someone could have sat you down and showed you
I thought to myself, somebody could have taught. Somebody
Yeah.
could have taught me this. Like, okay, hire me.
Yeah.
Because if Excel was the only thing, then boom, EJ got this right.
And
but I was qualified in everything else, and there was like 25 bullet points of qualifications.
Yeah.
And I was like, check.
And I'm pretty sure they probably, I don't know the position, but I'm pretty sure they weren't going all in Excel for that position. Like,
It was an interesting time, right? But I say all that to say this: the same day that I got the congratulations, I read the rejection first. So there were 2 emails, right? And I'm literally line 1, line 2 email in my Gmail. I open the email from the city.
Right.
We regret to inform you, you did not pass the preliminary testing.
Yeah.
You won't get it. You will not receive an interview. Broken.
Wow.
Now, mind you, the congratulations one was above it. Why I opened the rejection first, who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know, I mean, hey, God has a funny way of doing things sometimes. So I read the rejection first, and I was like, TED Talk. Click. Literally. I wish I could, man. Ooh, goosebumps. The city's email said, we regret to inform you. TED Talk, literally the first word, congratulations. And I just sat there. Like, I think I cried, bro. And they were like, all right, man, you've been chosen to be one of 15 speakers at TED Talk in Ocala. Get everything ready. Get your stuff ready. We're going to honor you with a mentor.
Wow.
This is boom, boom, boom. Put this on your calendar. You got this meeting. And I remember thinking to myself, right? So now, mind you, this was around the same time earlier I was talking where things were really rough. And I had some friends, let me stay on their couch and things like that. After kind of being homeless for a little bit,
right.
I was still going for things.
Right.
It kind of just dovetails into what we talked about.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine being homeless and still applying for TED Talk.
Crazy.
And getting it.
Crazy.
Right? And that was my story, bro. Like, literally being like partially homeless.
Yeah.
And still applying for TED Talk. And then I was trying to get the city job to get myself on my feet.
Right.
Right? So it's like, I felt like God just had this way of being like, EJ, this Just keep going.
Keep pushing.
I know the money don't look right. And the money don't even look right now. Right. I'm not sitting here talking about, oh man, I'm balling out of control, bro.
Right.
Gallery's open. I'm making tons of money. No, but isn't it beautiful that I don't have tons of money, but I still got a gallery?
Right.
I don't have tons of money. I was pretty much practically homeless when I applied for TED Talk. And I got TED Talk.
Right.
To me, that's the story that God wants to tell, man.
Yeah.
And like, I could just, if I allowed myself, bro, I would just sit here and just cry, bro. I would just sit here and cry in front of you. When I was at TED Talk, so I got that, I got it, everything. It was grueling, man, because they really want you to memorize your talk. My talk was about 6 or 7 minutes, depending on how I broke it down. Mm-hmm. I don't remember the last time I ever memorized anything, to be honest with you.
Wow.
I don't, like in my mind, I'm like, I'm 36 years old. When's the last time you memorized something? Like to memorize it, to be like, yeah, I'm going to speak, because I know you rap, right? Which I kind of feel like that's a little different, but
it is different.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
But
I don't remember.
To memorize a document.
Yeah.
To give it to, like, almost like school, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, I haven't done this ever. Like, I haven't done this since college.
Right.
And so you had that, right? And but yeah, I mean, I've never studied for something so hard. I've never worked at something so hard. I've never had knots in my stomach so big. It's just never been like this, bro.
Yeah.
And so I memorized it. Everything was good. And I'm talking down to the wire, because I was practicing forever, and it just wasn't sticking. I was like, why can't I memorize this? This is crazy. And then, I'm not even joking, bro, the Wednesday before the Saturday, so TED Talk was on a Saturday. Mm-hmm. That Wednesday, I woke up, I went for a walk, and I was like, God, like, I at that point I had about 75% of it memorized, but then I was still like, I would need, like, if you were helping me, I'd be like, word, and then you would help me with the word, like a word, and then I would continue. And I was like, man, when I'm on TED Talk, I can't be yelling at the crowd, word.
Yeah.
You were my boy, or whoever wasn't going to be in the crowd, like with the transcript, like, word, heaven. Okay, cool. I had to be able to memorize it.
Right.
And I went on this walk, bro. I promise, I can't even lie about this. I said it twice, like the whole thing. I went on a walk. And I said my whole TED Talk twice over.
Wow.
Like, no paper. Like,
wow.
It was crazy.
Wow.
And I was like, I think I got it.
Yeah.
Like, I got it. And then at that point, that's when I started going to friends and like, okay, can I tell you my TED Talk? And they had told you should have been doing that weeks ago. So I was freaking out. Because, they are, it's like a science, to memorize it. And then, you should be ready to go about 2 to 3 weeks before. And there's a science to it. So, I mean, there was a lot of pressure. Yeah. And Saturday pulls up. The big day, I'm behind the curtain. Mm-hmm. Now they had me speak first. I was the first speaker.
Wow.
Yeah, so I appreciate that honor. Thank you, Manal and TEDx Ocala. I appreciate that. Manal Fakuri was the director of operations, and she put it on. Mm-hmm. But I was behind the curtain once again. I can't make this up, bro. I forgot it.
Yep.
I forgot the whole thing.
Yep.
And you want to know something that's crazy? I forgot the whole speech, and I brought it up there with me. I was behind the curtain; it was there, and I wish I gotta tell her how it was. I blanked out. The only thing I could think about was Eminem 8 Mile.
Yep.
Palms are sweaty. Last night, mom spaghetti.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I kept rapping 8 Mile, and I'm like, get out of my head. Like, why am I? Because, that was the part where he was about to go on stage. Yeah. And all I could think about was 8 Mile.
Right.
And, like, right before he was about to go to his first battle. Mm-hmm. And that song just resonated with me. And I'm like, I should not be rapping this. I should be trying to figure out this, and that's why I feel like God knows me, man. Mm-hmm. He knows me so well, because it was this very odd piece to it. I was nervous. But then I was rapping Eminem, and I know Eminem isn't, he's, that's not Christian music by any means, but it's just one of those things, bro. Like, I just feel like God at times, he's like a dad with a sense of humor. Mm-hmm. And I'm not joking. I come out the curtain, I forgot it, bro. I'm like, well, here we go.
Yep.
I'm walking. I'm literally, it's about, I mean, I might have taken like 50 or 60 steps to the red circle.
Yeah.
Where you stand on the red circle and you give a TED talk.
Right.
I stand on the red circle, bro, I'm about to cry. I stand on the red circle. It all comes back.
It hits you.
And I felt God. I took a deep breath. And I know I don't want to look at him, but Andy can tell you this. My boy Andy, he's behind the set. And so my boy Andy and my family's there. Some of my bros are there. My mom's there. And I just look into the crowd. And I was about to start crying.
Yeah.
Because at that moment, it was like God was like, I did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Because I'm in control.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I'm in control. I took it away. I literally took it out of your memory bank. And I put it right back in. And I said it flawlessly. It was crazy, bro.
Dude, there's been so many performances, bro.
Yeah.
And Oksana knows, my wife knows.
Yeah.
I'll be practicing. I get there, I forget.
Yep.
Like, and I think it's one of those things where you just, I think a lot of times too, like we get in, it's just an example of how we get in our own way sometimes. Of just, but I think being a creative or being someone that creates, like in any aspect, in any avenue, I mean, you can create in the boardroom, you can create, you know, architecture. There's all different types of creatives. I feel like you kind of got to have a special type of brain. You know, not to say that we're special, because there's a bunch of different types of creators, but you have a part about you that, you know, you can get in the way of.
Yeah.
And you kind of just got to free that airway up. Something that is freaking Avatar, because I love anime. Yeah. But like in Avatar, like he's opening up these different parts of himself, and he kind of has to clear the waterway out. Like, and he's opening up these parts of himself from the inside. Like the example they gave was a stream running, and there was like, you know, leaves blocking the stream from running, and you kind of got to clear the stream so that way you can think and move. You know, and I think a lot of times, like the things that are blocking us is we get in our own way, whether it's nervousness, being anxious, you know what I'm saying, like doubting ourselves, all the fear, like all that type of stuff, man. Yeah. But I wanted to touch on music a little bit because I'm an artist. I love music. Yeah. Who you listening to when you're painting?
Man, who am I listening to? I listen to a lot of Drake, man. Yeah. Listen to a lot of Drake.
Views?
A lot of it's funny, man. Drake.
Views is my album,
man. So many, dude. Like, if you're reading this, it's too late. I feel like Drake music to me is really the soundtrack of my life, and I don't know if like we share this like very weird kindred spirit that every album that he come out with, it's like that's where I'm at. Like Dark Demo Tapes, like that's where I'm at. It's weird. Like I listen to the music and it's like, are you literally following me? Like, how do you know what I'm going through, bro? Whether it's like relationships with women, you know, money, trying to figure that part out of life, or like you got like haters out here trying to steal your energy. Like I remember for a while, man, like if you're reading this, it's too late. I listen to a lot of Ye too, a lot of Yeezy.
People, he gets a bad rap now.
He does, man. But you know, I've been with him. I've been with him before, you know, Jesus King. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people jumping on board with Jesus King just because, you know, and he got some Dove Awards, I believe, like best gospel album.
He won a Dove Award.
Interesting, right? That's cool. I mean, hey, man, that's what's up.
Yeah.
But I've been rocking with Yeezy for a long time. He's just always been eclectic, different. I think for my creative flow, and I've personally always thought differently on canvas, or if it's a mural, or just how to kind of express myself. Kanye, to me, a lot of times he says stuff. I think for me, like when I respect him a lot because he just says what is on his heart. Yep. And there will be people that don't agree, or there will be people that are like, yo, man, chill with that. But it's like, the one thing that I could definitely say I respect about Kanye is that he says what he feels, man. He says what he feels. He might get some flack for it, but he says what he feels. And I'm like, as an artist, as a visual artist, as a creative, as a musical artist, I just feel like it's very important to tell your story. Yep. You know, whether you're going to get flack or not, tell your story. But yeah.
I think someone posted on Facebook saying, "Do you agree with Kanye winning the Dove Award over Lecrae, KB, and Andy?"
Yeah.
And my response to that individual was like, Kanye won it. I think he had a dope album.
Yeah.
I think he deserved to win it. You know, if he won it, I believe like he deserved to win it.
Yeah.
If you ask me like who should have won it, I mean, I don't know how to answer that, but he won it. I think he deserved it. I do feel like Restoration, Lecrae's album, if he would have dropped that before COVID, like around the time Kanye dropped Jesus King, I don't know if Kanye wins it. Because I believe Restoration is my favorite album. I believe it's his best project. But I think the impact it could have had, you know, before COVID was dope. So yeah, that's what I said. But I appreciate you sitting down talking to me, bro.
Yeah, man.
This was dope. Let the people know how to get in touch with you. I'm definitely gonna put all your information in the video.
Oh yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Let them know where to go. Congrats on the 80K.
Oh, thanks, man. Man, we trying to climb, man. We climbing the 90, but
yeah,
I'm gonna appreciate the 80, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to check me out, it's official like a referee. So official NEHS on all the platforms. We got Facebook, TikTok. I'm on Twitter. I don't really tweet that much though. I am on Twitter, Instagram heavy. So it's all the same. Right. Official NEHS, and then the website www.officialnehs.com.
Yeah, that's dope. So make sure y'all check him out. I appreciate you guys for sitting down with us. Thank y'all so much for tuning into another episode of The Sit Down. Like this video, comment your thoughts down below. Subscribe to the channel. But I know you subscribe because you're not going to watch this and not be a subscriber. So we cool on that point. Appreciate you guys. We'll see y'all next time. Deuces. I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, man.
How you feel about it?